This is Alpakka 1.0, an open source gyro controller designed by Input Labs, which solves a problem of you playing from your sofa while being competitive with mouse and keyboard users. They sent me a review unit, but they didn't pay me for this video, so I wouldn't hold any thoughts. I even paid for my own delivery of this device from Finland. Let's take a closer look at it. So why it is so special? Why it can be competitive? Gyro devices are already kind of competitive, but this one promises even more precision of gyro sensors because it has two of them on board, and they approximate the position even better using two gyro sensors. It is also sort of a mouse and keyboard controls. It has like controls over here. This is digital. This is mouse click triggers, right? And everything is digital over here. We have a mouse wheel, which actually is not doesn't have a button, which kind of a shame. I would like to have it a button press. It has a stick. It's an analog stick, but about that we will talk about a little bit later. There's another analog stick over here, and all sorts of direction buttons, and you would perhaps want them to be connected as on your normal controllers, but no, they're separate over here, which is a can be a bad thing and a good thing as well. It depends on the game you're playing. It's totally remappable, as you see, from the software, uh, which is called Control App, which is a Chrome app, which you can install from their website. I'm also they don't support Mac OS, but I was able to download this app and use it from Mac OS, uh, provided that you use uh, Chrome browser. It will work actually. Let's start with the profiles because they don't say where to start, okay? But you start with the profiles, and their flagship profile is actually FPS Fusion, which actually combines analog stick with the mouse and keyboard input. But I wouldn't recommend it for you to start from. I would rather recommend you to start with FPS WSID profile because it is actually most compatible of them all. First of all, it works without any problem on my Mac, and also it works on consoles for games which support mouse and keyboard, like Warzone, for example. I was able to play Warzone using that on my PS5. Call of Duty, I mean, every Call of Duty game supports mouse and keyboard. Also, Battlefield 6. Anyway, where to start? First of all, you want to switch to your profile to be FPS WSID. So you do that by just holding this button and holding this button. Then you switch it. As you see, it matches like three dots on top. It means that it's FPS WSID profile. There is a WSID mapped to the stick, and also there is a concept of inner and outer ring, which means that if you move it out slightly, you go in the inner ring, so you can bind it to the. It also outputs this character, which is like a square bracket, and then when you move further, this will start sending this character, which is another square bracket, but like right square bracket, left and right. Um, Mouse is bind to gyro. We load it into the game, and then in order to move around, I just have to hold this conductive unit, which is really strange for some people, including me. Right? But it kind of their way of doing ratcheting. Maybe you noticed ratcheting. I mean, resetting when you are in awkward position. You have to reset your gyro, right? And then you just release your touchpad, and then you keep going. That's the basic movement, how you do that. If you noticed, I'm on GeForce RTX 5080, but it is GeForce Now streaming service. It's very responsive, and I'm on Mac, I want to remind you. Let's go and see how it works when you shoot. Um, because this is the main purpose of this controller. You play an FPS games on your sofa. Okay, this is the scroll wheel. Why you need it? You need to switch a weapon because yeah, why not? And then when I hold it, I can aim and I can shoot. I can tell you from the get-go, this is very precise. Look at this. No tremors, no kind of unintended movements. Very precise aiming. The only problem I see here is that when I want to switch a weapon, I have to select, let's get a weapon. Anyway, I have to disconnect from this touch surface. And even if I want to search something, I have to disconnect from the touch surface. And this can be a problem for me because when I'm playing, I like it to be still possible to move around. Okay. What else? When I'm looting as well, you see, when I'm just now disconnected completely, no, I can't really do anything. Uh, I can't move around. Imagine if the enemy comes from the side. This is kind of disadvantage of this. But I mean, there are also advantages of this as well. Let me select some bullets and let's go and switch some weapons. As you see, when I switch a weapon, I can't really move at this point. How it is can be solved, okay? This can be solved by just adjusting to it, understanding how you switch your weapons, and then plan accordingly. So you can plan your switching of your weapon and also resetting your position like that. Okay, this is just a school of thought, I would say. I'm from a different school of thought, which is gyro ratcheting. I'm only touching conductive surface on my DualSense when I actually want to turn off the gyro. And I have gyro always on. It gives me more freedom. I can use more controls while also aiming. For example, if I'm replaying in Warzone, I want to look around, or if I'm just using something, using hold option on the button. But it is what it is. But look at this, how precise it is. There is an option. I actually have a profile which I designed. I think you have to do it like that. You see where it's always on, but when I touch the surface, it is disconnecting the gyro. This is for me is more interesting option. I like it a little bit more because and then I'm more agile with this as well. So you may consider that. But there is a problem with this. The problem with this is that if you by accident touch this side of the conductive unit, you will also disconnect your gyro, which you don't want. And this can totally happen. You see, guys, I have a big hands, and happens all the time. Or if I press on a button over here, let's say, I don't know, to reload, sometimes unintentionally, I touch this surface. That's my review. But like, guys, look at this. The precision of this thing is really, really nice. So the solutions to that problem, I actually 3D printed my own element, which is non-conductive. So my plan is to connect it over here instead, or disassemble the controller, put this thing instead, and actually, so this will be a non-conductive, and bring a little uh, like a copper tape outside and put it just here. In that case, I will be able to still ratchet, and there will be less of a surface for my touch, so I will not accidentally use it. You see now if I aim and I can just stop, regroup, and then my always on gyro works perfectly for me, and I can change my weapons without actually you see without disconnecting gyro, and I can aim. I can rest my finger over here. There's no problem at all because it's not capacity anymore. But in the same time, I can ratchet. Okay. Right. Another thing which is strange. I mean, it is actually okay, but it is strange that you don't have a button on your scroll wheel. You have to. That's why I have this button of the scroll wheel. I have mapped to this button, which usually I use for jumping. But for jumping, I can use the buttons on the back. Okay, this is a little sacrifice I had to make. But anyway, this can be solved by you know adding a button to that unit. I would recommend it. It will be really nice to have. Another modification I've done to this controller is I put a cable, as you see, I put a cable on which faces now down instead of up. And the reason for that, I actually like when the cable goes down and it less interferes with my movements uh, and my precision aiming. This also has a wireless option, but I removed the battery. It comes with the battery which is connected there, and it has a wireless dongle as well. But I'm not using it because I'm streaming usually, and it's long streams, and I don't want to depend on a battery. That's why I'm actually not using it. But if you want to play from your couch, from your sofa, you will totally be able to use it as a wireless option. Before you actually start playing, make sure that you have sensitivity set to be correctly. Here you go. In the settings over there, you can just go and do the mouse sensitivity and make sure that your screen resolution matches with DPI setting over here. Mine is 2K, so I selected this 1200 DPI, but it depends on which resolution of the screen you're using. This is recommended values. My final thoughts after playing for a while with this controller. I I'm definitely recommending it for you at least to try because it's very universal, it's very cool, and it's very precise. I don't know if it's a revolution as someone claims, but this one definitely allows me to shoot really good. I mean, I was perhaps winning more games than in Warzone, for example, casual mode, that I was winning with DualSense. But maybe this is placebo effect. You can find out for yourself. As well, it's very universal. You can build it yourself. You will be cool kid on the block if you have it, coolest kid on the block if you have it, right? You can customize it according to your needs. My final thoughts as well. I know that they have Alpakka 2.0, which is in production, and maybe they addressing already most of my concerns that I had. I hope that they will have like a scroll wheel button. They already have two of them there. I hope they will have a screen. They have a screen, but it will be a touch screen that you don't need to hack it like I hacked it over there. They definitely have two thumbsticks. I think my favorite flick stick will be First Class Citizen because at the moment it's not. Of course, it is possible, but it's not as easy as you can do on the controllers such as DualSense Edge or DualSense. But overall, this is really cool. I don't know. I'm not giving any points to the controllers. I'm glad that I have it. I'm looking forward to maybe have more units. Maybe I will build more units myself. Go through entire process, and yes, we'll try various games, and we'll see, because you can also play other games such as, for example, whatever RTS, using that controller from the comfort of your couch. Uh, uh, just without kind of telling a lot, but there is like some things which I also would like to have. Maybe that this controller is kind of cool, but there is like a close competition there. They have the big touch screen, which allows you to flick very easily. I mean, I would say that this controller Alpakka 1.0 lacks this a little bit. But hopefully, my only concern about Alpakka 2.0 that it doesn't have that screen is not that large. Uh, Maybe it will allow flicks as well. I don't know, but it will be cool to have because even a Steam controller, which is upcoming controller, will have it. And I don't know, I think it's a cool feature to have. Also, I'm really excited to know about their one-handed controller because, as you know, I'm designing a one-handed controller for people with disabilities, and this is my Pika shooter. I actually designed it myself. So you can see the videos about this on my channel. Yeah, Input Labs actually sent a controller to their competitor. No, actually not. I'm really excited be, to know what's next because I mean a lot of things can be made really simple if the 100 version of the controller has top class gyro inside. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it is. It's highly recommended, guys. And then see you. Have a good game.